Trains. In the early 20th century, in the late 19th century, trains made the world go round. But what makes trains go round? Fuel. What kind of fuel? Coal and coke. Coke is used for more than just trains, and so is coal. But how do you get this fuel to make the world go round? Well, it has to be mined in caves. But in order to mine it, you need people in the mines to mine the fuel. And how do you get the people there? With the trains that use the fuel that was mined. And to feed the people that you're moving with the trains, you need food. And how do you get food with the farmers? What are they doing? What do they need? They're growing crops, and they need to move them to sell them to people, to feed America. America depends on these farmers for food, and the farmers depend on the trains that use the fuel to feed the country. But how do these farmers get out west, where they can start farming with trains that use fuel? Where am I going with this? Everywhere you look, this country depends on train, and trains depend on fuel. If one man were to, say, control a vast majority of the fuel to be mined out west, he would have great amount of influence over this country. I am here today to tell you that this man is John C. Osgood. Born at a young age in Brooklyn, New York in the year 1851, John C. Osgood came from just about nothing. Orphaned before he was 18, Osgood knew the value of hard work, as that's what he spent most of his early life doing. He worked hard, saved his money, and at the young age of 23, he purchased the White Breast Coal and Mining Company, his first venture into coal and mining, aside from being a bookkeeper for another mining company earlier in his life. Under his leadership, the White Breast Coal and Mining Company soon became the lead supplier for the Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy railroads. Osgood really hit it big in 1882 when he first set foot in Colorado. His Colorado Fuel Company soon merged with another company, the Colorado Coal and Iron Company. Together, they formed the Colorado Fuel and Iron Company, or CF&I. It was around this time that he founded his company town, Redstone. Now, Redstone wasn't just like every other company town. No, Redstone was better. 84 cottages and a 40-room inn, all for his employees. Also, they all had working electricity and running water. There was a school, a theater, a library, all built by Osgood for his employees. He gave his employees a place to stay, a place to call home, in a time when Colorado was mostly empty. He later built a hospital in Pueblo for all of his employees throughout the state to use. There was also a garden that every employee had a couple of acres to grow food for themselves. The point I'm trying to make here is that Redstone was a good thing for the employees. It was beneficial to them. A nice town to live in while they mined coal and made coke for the whole country. Not only did he have a positive impact on his employees and the country as a whole, he also had a positive impact on his family. Osgood built a house for his sisters Julia and Mary, and when his brother Charles had passed away, he cared for Charles's son. And at all times throughout his life, he readily supplied financial advice and aid to those in his family. Now that we've examined his effect on his friends, family, and employees, we can take a closer look, go into a deeper dive into his effect on the country as a whole. I cannot understate the value of coal and coke to this country, because in this time period, things were moved one of two ways, by train or by boat. And guess what both of them needed? Fuel. And what's the fuel? Coal or coke. Without fuel, crops wouldn't get to the market, people wouldn't expand west. And you know what else depends upon fuel? Steel. Steel was one of America's biggest industries at the turn of the century. And not just steel. Virtually all industries required some form of fuel, either to bring in the materials to produce a product that requires either a train or a boat, which needs fuel. And often they were in the factories powered by machines, and the machines would need fuel. Well, not as widespread at the time. Coal is still burned for electricity, and it was right around this time when this first started. The overwhelming amount of coal in the country led to it being more widespread in the use of electricity, bringing electricity to more homes, more people, more places. Once again, what's the point? What am I trying to say here? Well, without John C. Osgood, we would have fewer trains, fewer boats, less electricity, and a less developed America. He may not be the most well-known or wealthy robber baron, but he definitely had a major impact on this country.